right, Nick, let's talk about the Atlanta Falcons. Combine season is here, and you know what that means. Trade talks always spin up this time of year. There's odds out there. There's teams that are looking slated to potentially land players. There's one player in particular at the quarterback position that looks like the favorite to land with the Atlanta Falcons, but GM Terry Fontenot had some really interesting comments to say on that as well. Seems like he's playing it very cool. Let's get on into the article. We can talk more about it on the other side. This, of course, from over on NBC Sports, says the Falcons are the overwhelming favorites to land Fields in the odds set by DraftKings Sportsbook. Atlanta is at minus 225, with this is shocking. The Bears next at plus 240. Usually the home team would be the team to, take them back, but not here. The Steelers come in at plus 340, the Raiders at plus 800, Patriots plus 1500, and the Broncos at plus 2000. And then this was Fontenot's comments on all of the situation. He said, yeah, we won't close any doors, Fontenot said. It can be a veteran. It can be a young player. We won't close any doors. It's about getting what is right, whatever that is. The cool thing about this year is there's a lot of really good options in all areas. There's good options regarding veterans, undrafted free agents, possible trades, the draft. There's a lot of good options. The critical part is to make sure we get it right. So, Nick, like this says, Fontenot not rushing to make any decisions, and he's showing that he has a lot of options on the table as well. Curious what your thoughts are on this for the Atlanta Falcons. But Falcons fans, in the comment section below, let us know, what do you think is going to happen at the quarterback position? It seems like things are heating up, and we have a limited amount of time to get your thoughts in the comment section below. Let us know at the end of the day, week 1 rolls around, who will be playing quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons in the comment section below. But Nick, what are your thoughts on these latest comments by Fontenot?
I think it's absolutely perfect because this time of year, especially as rumors are swirling, and right now all reports seem to be, and you can look at the odds that Justin Fields will be playing for the Atlanta Falcons. He'll be part of a trade from the Bears to the Falcons at some point in the future. I think the important thing for Atlanta, though, is to make sure they don't get absolutely fleeced in this deal. And right now, the Bears theoretically have a lot of leverage, right? Or at least they think they do, because everyone is expecting the Falcons to acquire Justin Fields. But what Fontenot is doing here and what he's done this entire offseason is very smart. He understands that this is if you're looking for a quarterback, this is a very supply heavy market, right? We're going old school economics here, supply versus demand. If you want a quarterback this offseason, if you're in the Atlanta Falcons, you have a lot of options. Baker Mayfield's an undrafted, unrestricted free agent. Kirk Cousins is available, right? You keep going down the list. You look at the draft. Obviously, it'll be hard for Atlanta to trade up into the top 2. They could certainly trade up into the top 3, maybe get a Jane Daniels. They could trade back and get a Penix Jr. They could trade back and get a Bo Nix. There's some kind of second tier veterans available as well. You look at a guy like Russell Wilson. He's become kind of a second tier guy. Mason Rudolph's another veteran option that's kind of floating around. There's even some rumors that Kyler Murray would be available for a potential trade as well. And of course, there's Justin Fields. So the Falcons basically have 8 different options to go through to address the quarterback position. That's a lot of supply. The Bears only have one Justin Fields that they absolutely have to get rid of. And Fontenot understands that. That's why he's like, listen, I have the leverage, not you, Chicago, because the moment one domino falls, the moment Kirk Cousins, let's say, returns to the Minnesota Vikings, and then Russell Wilson gets traded to Pittsburgh, let's say, the moment that happens, the value of Justin Fields plummets. And at that point, the Bears will have to do something just to get rid of him. They'll have to get rid of him for peanuts, essentially. And the Atlanta Falcons right now understand that and say, listen, if you really want to get rid of Justin Fields now, which it looks like the Bears probably do, you're going to have to give us a fair price for him, or you're going to have to give us a deal. Because we know that we know the moment other quarterbacks start flying, Justin Fields, love Justin Fields to death. I'm a big fan of Fields. He is going to be valued near the bottom of that class. Kirk Cousins is going to be higher. Obviously, a lot of the young guys, the draft picks, are going to be valued higher as well. So again, the moment some of those guys get re-signed, the moment some of those guys get traded, the moment some of these guys make draft trades, Justin Fields' value in terms of an asset for the Bears plummets dramatically. It's simple supply and demand. The Falcons understand this. This is why Terry Fontenot's like, listen, we may draft a guy. We may sign a guy. We might trade for a guy. We're looking at all our options. And right now, even though it looks like they're going after Justin Fields, they're going to the Bears and saying, listen, we're not giving you a number 1. We're not giving you a number 2. We're probably not even giving you a number 3. Right. And guess what? You're going to give us a number 4, and you're going to be happy about it, because the moment Russell Wilson gets traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers and Kirk Cousins leaves or gets re-signed by Minnesota, you're going to be lucky to get rid of Justin Fields for a 6th-round pick, or you may even have to cut him. Right. And the Bears know that. Right. It's one of these weird situations where the media thinks that the Bears have all the leverage. 100% wrong. The Falcons have all the leverage if they follow the path that Terry Fontenot is doing here. And I think that's what's really smart here coming out of the Falcons GM, who I think is one of the more talented executives in the National Football League. I love what Terry Fontenot is doing here. I think he is squeezing everything he can out of this negotiation, and it's just good business. I love this from Terry Fontenot.
Yeah, and it's kind of like inverse, like you were saying, of what you would think. You feel like the Bears have the leverage, and you feel like, okay, quarterbacks start dropping, the pressure's on the Falcons. Well, actually, the pressure's on the Bears because if they're going to move fields, like you said, as soon as these quarterbacks start dropping, as soon as other teams come in to the mix, picking up other guys, less and less options for the Bears to move off of fields.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, crunch time now. We got to move them for something. If we're going to pick a quarterback number one overall, which seems like a likely option, we got to make a move now. And then the opposite thing, the odds showing the Falcons as a favorite, other teams are starting to think, okay, well, it seems like something's getting close. Seems like the Falcons are maybe locking in on Justin Fields. We're going to start looking in some other directions. Steelers start looking at Kirk Cousins. Steelers start looking other places as well. So I think everything that is going on, it's like you said, people will say, okay, pressure's on Falcons. You got to give up a king's ransom. But really, when you look at it, even from two different angles, it's looking like the Falcons are getting more leverage because the pressure is now on the Bears and other teams are starting to back off because they think that the Falcons are the ones coming in close to a deal. So I really love the idea by Fontenot here. Play it cool. Let time roll out. Not too much time, but just enough to get the best deal possible for a talented playmaker like Justin Fields, who I think is going to be way better suited in the Falcons offense than he was in the Bears offense. I think it's going to be a great thing for Atlanta, and I'm excited to see how it all plays out.
And another factor in this too, and we've talked about this, so far this offseason, is that there's been a lot of comments out of Atlanta that they could be interested in other guys as well. In fact, we've reported that a lot of their comments seem to be very interested in Kirk Cousins as an option. Now, it doesn't look like that based on the odds. But again, all that is in the Bears' mind. All that is in Bears GM Ryan Poles' mind. And the longer the Bears wait, again, I think it's so important here. The longer the Bears wait, the value of Justin Fields drops and drops and drops and drops. Because the Falcons, they can wait all the way until the NFL draft if they want to, because they can pick a quarterback at 8. They can trade up. They can trade back to take a quarterback. They can go the draft route, and they'd be perfectly fine with that. In fact, I recommend the Falcons trading up to get Jane Daniels. I think that's the best option for them. That's my opinion. But they can wait to number 8. The Bears can't wait to number 8. They got to get rid of Justin Fields. If they want to get anything for him as soon as possible, that plays right into the Falcons' hands if they want Fields. I think they're in a strong position, and I love what Terry Fontenot is doing. I know I've said that a bunch, but I really think he's one of the underrated GMs in football, and I'm excited to see how this plays out for the Falcons.